same shirt that I got, didn't you?
I did, and I put it on right away, just like you did.
Yeah, so we have to tell our buddy Lee Einsiedler that, if you're going to send us a gift,
It
can't be the same thing.
And the twins.
You've got to be kidding. You know what's funny? So the whole time I'm talking about the Giants, I'm only looking at myself in the Zoom, and then you pop up in the same shirt. And I go, oh, God, no.
I mean, how bad are we, though? I mean, we just got it yesterday.
I love the shirt. I was like, and I was going to text him and say, hey, listen, I'm wearing your shirt today. Thank you. He's got to know better. Unless he planned this. Do you think he planned it?
He may have planned it, but I don't think he would have expected both of us to put it on the next day. Right?
It's a great looking shirt.
Yes.
Well, I can very easily change.
But
the twins.
Yeah, all right, Al, shut up. It's all right. We get it. I mean, the last time this happened, if I remember correctly, Craigie bought the same shirt that I wore because he liked it. And then we both wore it in the studio together.
Oh, this.
I mean, this is unbelievable. This is completely random. And
yes.
That's because you and I have a buddy that sent us the same shirt. And I know the company where he sent it from. I'm like, they have 1,000 different shirts. You had to send us the same shirt?
Yeah, he's texting us now, by the way.
Oh,
Here come the twins.
Oh, my God. It's ridiculous.
It really is. So what would you like? Should we keep the same shirt on and just do the show?
Yes, please do.
Okay. All right. We'll do that.
It only got worse for the Giants, and I don't know why they didn't trade Evan Ingram. I don't know necessarily what people were looking for. I know people are really trying to protect their salary cap numbers, as the salary cap is going to be going up over the next few years, and they really are trying to keep their salary cap for whatever reason. I don't know. It's just, I'd also remember, if they do lose him via free agency, they'll get a compensatory pick for him, assuming that they don't sign anybody else. That would be somewhere along those lines. So there's always that protection on the back end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would just say that for the Giants, yesterday was not a great day, and it was not a great day because of what the NFL said in regards to the headsets on the sideline. And remember, when Joe Judge was talking about this after the game on Thursday night, on Monday night, the point he was making is that this has gone on a number of times. And you also have to remember that Bose is an official sponsor of the NFL. Yes. So when these coaches start going after, the equipment or, clothing or whatever, the NFL is going to come out strong in defense of those companies that are putting their products on the field.
And then in the response back, I believe the man's name is Michael Signora, who's the VP of communications or whatever it was. He mentioned there was no problem with the Bose communication system. And the second when I saw him write in Bose, I was like, oh boy, that this is a bigger problem for the NFL than we would even think, because when a head coach is calling out the communication system and a massive sponsor of the league and a partnership, they don't take that stuff lightly.
No, they don't. And they're gonna come back, and they're gonna come back hard, and they're gonna protect their sponsors. And rightfully so. I'm a huge I understand all of that. We do that here for WFAN too. You got to be very careful of the people that support your programs and support the station and everything else. You want to try to do the best by everybody. And I think in the case of the NFL, that's exactly what they're doing here. And they're frustrated because, Joe Judge said this has happened many times this year.
Yeah,
it's not just this one time in Kansas City.
Every stadium he said it happened in.
Right. So I don't know exactly what he's talking about. And remember, in one of the articles I read yesterday, I remember Ben McAdoo was using a walkie-talkie on the sideline, and he got fined for that.
Right, and he did that because the communication went out, I believe.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. In the end, he was doing whatever he needed to do, and he had the walkie-talkie, and it's a hilarious photo because it's him with the original bad haircut that he had.
Yes.
Like the bowl cut.
Well, he had the Dutch boy paint haircut.
Right, with that haircut, with the walkie-talkie on the sideline is just an everlasting image for the New York Giants.
And let this be a cautionary tale for, managers and coaches all around here that, if you're going to make a statement like that, you better be accurate with it, and there better be, some sort of backup to support what you're saying. And in this case, there is no backup. Nobody complained through the proper channels. Nobody said anything on the Giants side. And if this has happened in multiple situations, like Joe Judge said on Monday night, you're going to get blowback. And now all of a sudden you have a whole nother thing that you got to deal with. And you just created another firestorm for yourself that you got to put out, when in actuality, you shouldn't have to be dealing with crap like this.
What happened year one to year two to Joe Judge? Because I loved what he did last year. Everything about Joe Judge I loved, so much so that I picked the Giants to win the division this year, basically because of him. And now this year, the team has come back. They're undisciplined. There was that issue where he didn't understand the rules with the challenges. They seemingly have penalty after penalty, stupid stuff that's going on. He's saying things in post-game news conferences that scratch your head, and now he's calling out the communication system, seemingly making excuses for his team and his offense that failed miserably on a national stage. It's like none of this stuff that we got used to knowing about Joe Judge we expected to happen this year because of the foundation that we thought he set last year. So what happened? Were we duped, or is this just, I've got no answers.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It goes back to the inexperience of being the man on the sideline and being the face of the franchise. That's really what sometimes you get yourself embroiled in these things that really make no sense, and you really shouldn't have to get embroiled in them. And if you're inexperienced with dealing with the media, especially here in New York, which is a big part of your job. You could be a great football coach, and maybe he is, but another part of your job is that you are the face of that franchise. You are the one that is, telling your fan base what's going on and how you react in those media sessions. He may not like them. Bill Belichick may not like them. Rob Saleh might not like them. But let me tell you something. It is a big part of your job. Your owner is watching your every move. Your owner is listening to everything you say. Your owner is listening to how people are reacting to what you say. The season ticket holders have a voice and a say in this whole thing. There's only 17 games, and there's 17 opportunities for you to have a post-game press conference and say the right things along the line that when you lose, at least you can give solace to the fact to the fan base that you know what you're doing. And now you added this to this post-game press conference against Kansas City, and now the NFL comes out and the NFL goes after you and says that's, we don't know what the hell he's talking about. The Bose communication systems work. Now you've created another firestorm. And that, I think it has more to do with just the inexperience. It's like an inexperienced quarterback. You're dealing with a lot of things for the first time. And when you're a head coach in the NFL, there is never a day that goes by where there isn't some sort of adversity somewhere along the line. Even when you win, there's adversity along the line. It could come out of the training room. It could come out of the general manager's office. It could come out of the owner's office. It could come from an individual player who has personal problems. It could come from a coach who has personal issues. It can come from a myriad of different areas that, you're just not ready to handle yet. And then you start your own fire, and then you got to deal with that too. So that's where we are with the second-year head coach of the New York Giants.
Yeah, it was almost like because right after he said it, he started going, well, I don't want to make excuses. I don't want to make it about the stupid headsets. But you already said it. At that point, it was already out there. It was already over. No matter what you tried to do to backtrack, now the NFL was going to have to look into it. Now they said they never got a formal complaint from the Giants, and they're just going to try to embarrass the Giants, which is exactly what they did yesterday. So I don't know where they think they're going, but if this team ends up as a 7-10 team this year, does that mean they're going to bring everybody back? Does that mean that these guys that they could have traded away at the trade deadline, they're thinking about bringing back as free agents? I don't know. Yesterday was interesting. There was a New York Post article written about it today, trying to throw out a couple of reasons why the Giants didn't trade anybody away, and one of them was that the jobs are on the line. And if they trade away some of these players and the team goes down into the tank completely, that maybe they're losing their job and they wanted to hang on to some talented players. But if that's the case, then, I mean, that's not a good sign either, because you're getting lulled into a false sense of security about it being a team that can compete when you're not a team that competes.
Well, there also could be the fact that, ownership may have said to, the general manager in that part of the building that you're not doing anything. We're getting, maybe ownership may be thinking that they'll have a new guy making those decisions.
Oh, yeah.
That also could be part of it as well. I mean, and listen, the Mara family is knee deep in this thing. John Mara is all over it. He's in every decision. He's been around a long, long time, and they run their operation a very specific way. And, I don't know whether or not they'll get rid of Dave Gettleman. I know the fan base wants a new guy in there making these decisions. I don't know how they'll react towards all this. But, right now, where the Giants sit at 2-6, with all of this stuff going on around them, this is probably, I don't know if we can get to a much lower point than this, but this has to be the low point of the season. And now comes the Raiders, and the Raiders now all of a sudden have their own issues again.
Oh, my goodness. What a terrible story.
And this is a brutal, brutal story, as one of their star wide receivers out of Alabama, Henry Ruggs, was involved in a DUI crash where all reports out of Las Vegas are saying that, he appeared to be impaired with this accident as he and his girlfriend, or a female passenger, ran his Corvette right into the back of another car, and the occupant of that car was killed. And
23-year-old woman.
Right. So you have so many things going on this week, and this one here is just it doesn't get any worse than this. I don't know. The Raiders have already got enough to handle it, but now you have a dead woman on your hand, and you have a potentially drunken driver who is a star wide receiver for your team. You have all sorts of emotions that I'm sure going through that locker room right now with, a interim head coach who's got to deal with all the fallout from the John Gruden issue as well.
Right. They add this on top of it, and he's now gone just like that. His life is up in the air. You have no idea what is going to happen. Forget about football with him for a second. I mean, he very well spends a significant time behind bars.
They don't have probation in Las Vegas or Nevada. You have to go to jail for something like this, especially when somebody is killed in an accident like this, and you're impaired. So if in fact the stories are all correct, I want to be respectful to everybody involved, but reading all the stories and reading the potential issues for Henry Ruggs, they're going to be significant. They're going to be really significant. So I don't know if he'll ever play football again. I don't know how long of a sentence he will get if in fact he is found to be liable and responsible for this. But at the moment, as we sit here this morning, all the reports out of Las Vegas are not good for him and his future.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.